Welcome to the Tradies in Business podcast with your hosts Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Divert your phone and grab a brew as Waz and Nic unpack tips, tales, secrets and stuff-ups from guests both inside and outside your trade, helping educate and inspire you to break the cycle of gut-busting and money stress and create a true trade business.
Happy Sunday, listeners.
Happy Sunday, listeners. I love a good Sunday.
Sundays are awesome.
They are a bit cool.
They're even awesomer. Yeah, you go.
I'm coming from you in a different direction from this Sunday. I'm actually at my dad's.
Ooh. What are you doing there?
Well, we came down last night for dinner now that we're allowed to travel and sneakily stayed overnight, which I don't think we're actually allowed to do. But, you know.
Nicole.
He lives an hour away. I couldn't drive home.
Is that because you're fully cut?
No. But I did have a couple of red wines.
You had a full tank of gas.
I did. So, yes, we stayed over.
I said all those wonderful things about you yesterday, you're breaking rules.
I am a rule breaker. That should not surprise you.
No. Is this like people that film hooning on their phone and then post it to Facebook? Are we just doing that to you now where it's like it's on a podcast and the police will be like, we just heard your podcast. You broke the rules, Mrs. Cox.
I'm outing myself. They can come and find me. I'll be at the beach in about 15 minutes.
That's too dangerous. Go to Bunnings.
I actually have I already told this story? Went to Bunnings this week and there was you still have like, there's the in and out. Some weren't allowed to.
Yep.
You've kind of like a caged animal. But it's not like that at Woolworths now. And we're allowed six people in an aisle now at Bunnings, not 4.
And there's no limit on eggs?
Oh, I hadn't noticed because my shop still doesn't have any.
Are people still panic buying eggs up there?
I just think that they're probably not getting enough stock in, and every time somebody sees it, they get a couple of dozen instead of 1 dozen maybe. That said, we probably go through 3 dozen a week.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, well, that's. I noticed it the other day that there was no restriction on the number of cackleberries.
Cackleberries. There are such cool names out there for eggs.
Bum nuts.
Bum nuts. I didn't grow up with any of these.
Googies, of course.
And nobody, when I say to my husband, even though we've been married for almost 10 years and together for 12, and I'll say to him, would you like a dippy egg? And he still doesn't know what a dippy egg is. Well, obviously he does now. I've educated him, but nobody had ever heard of a dippy egg. Do you know what a dippy egg is?
I do. Now, I don't know if it's from hanging around you or my wife, but I do know what a dippy egg is. A soft-boiled egg, and then you stick, toast for most people into it.
Yeah. So what did you call them as a kid?
Soft-boiled eggs.
Oh, that's boring.
Boiled egg and soldiers. We used to have soldiers.
Ah, yes. Soldiers. Good old soldiers.
Toast soldiers. I used
Those
to like.
Poor buggers would just drop down like there's no tomorrow.
We're being very politically correct today, aren't we, Coxie?
We are.
Oh, my screen just went dark.
What did you used to like?
So back in the days when I used to eat bread, one of my favorite and most important things, like it was very, very. I'm a fairly particular kind of a guy for those that don't know me. Anyway, I was going to go somewhere and I thought, no, I won't go there. So I'm not going to. I left you all hanging, listeners. Now you're thinking, where was going to go with that?
And Tom's thinking, oh, here we go again.
Mitch can fill him in. So that's our 2 listeners taken care of, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Tradies in Business Daily TradieRonaCast brought to you by Tom and Mitch.
G'day, Tom. G'day, Mitch.
And maybe Jason.
Hello, Jason.
I don't think he listens as much as he used to.
Well, every day is a big commitment.
Yeah. So I would make sure the toast had cooled to the right temperature.
Yes.
So that it would carry the butter correctly. And there's a particular level of melting and soliding Like, you want the butter to spread on super thick. So the butter has to be soft enough to be able to spread it on, but hold its shape. And then a little bit of it to melt into the bread, because I love that, like, the bread just gets that juicy, buttery dribble thing going on. But there's still like solid butter sitting on top of the toast. Even after I dip it in the runny egg, in my dippy egg, it all kind of holds that structure as I put it into my gob.
If you can't see teeth marks in your butter on your bread, toast, whatever, you're doing it wrong.
Well, one of the things that, and look, this is not nutrition advice, listeners. So anything that I say doesn't consider your personal circumstances, and you should seek the advice of a nutritionist, a dietitian, or a GP before you actually follow any of this.
God, that was formal.
But one of the things that I do like about the way of eating that Wifey and I follow is that I can get away with the occasional slicing of butter to put onto things. Now, for me, it's not bread because I don't eat the stuff. But generally, it might be to pop some herbed butter onto the top of a nice fresh steak after it comes out of the barbecue.
Or a piece of fish.
Yeah. And the butter gets sliced off the block, not like scraped off with the
like
knife.
Cheese.
And not these like Nancy boy little fine shavings. It's like, give me a slice of that gear. Get it on there.
I'm a bit of a butter fan.
Oh, butter's better.
It's got to be
Peter Russell
salted.
Clark said so. Yes.
It's got to be salted. It's no good if it's not salted. It isn't butter.
Salted, Australian-made, grass-fed butter.
It gets hard to find. Well, I can get plenty at the organic shop, but you used to be able to get it at Woolworths.
That's one of the things I love about Tassie is because we're an island, apparently, and according to my 8.5-year-old daughter, we're another country.
You are.
We might as well be some days. But a lot of the stuff in your big grocery stores actually comes from Tasmania.
I've noticed that. Don't you live near the Tamar Valley? Because there's Tamar Valley yogurt.
We live in the Tamar Valley. Now, Tamar Valley yogurt is sadly not Australian-owned anymore. It's made in Tassie. It's made here in the Tamar Valley, but it's owned by some big bloody French company, Parmalat, or one of those big global dairy companies that have done interesting things to the industry. But butter, we have this butter down here called Duck River.
Oh.
And it is so good. We have so much of it in our fridge. Anywho, Sunday is a day for talking absolute tripe. So I'm looking forward to today, actually, Coxie. We're doing some little building projects at home here with Miss 8.5, who's come to stay with us for the weekend. So going to get the rechargeable screw gun out and the drill and some timber, and I don't have a circular saw because I kind of got rid of most of my tools when I left the mainland, and I'm going to have to use a bloody handsaw to cut all the hardwood.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's going to take all afternoon.
Oh my gosh, it sucks so bad. Wifey did say, you got a birthday coming up, Waz. How much is a circular saw?
Good idea. Get a battery-powered one. How bloody cool are battery-powered tools?
Cordless tools are the bomb diggity.
They are. I've even got a battery-powered whippersnipper and a blower, and I'd like a battery-powered mower, but I don't think it'd go the whole 9 yards.
No, a battery-powered John Deere.
That'd be great. But I go to site and the boys have everything they've got now is battery-powered. It's so bloody cool.
And it's so much safer. I remember labouring with my dad many years ago.
Yes.
And he used to be a foreman putting up the big steel industrial sheds before tilt slab was a thing.
Yes.
And they were all, C channel and Z channel and all, put together on site. And so they all had these ridiculously heavy screw guns that like break your wrist when you drove the roofing screws in.
Yeah.
And they had these electrical leads. You remember seeing them hanging off tradie trailers?
Yes. You still do, but not as much.
but not as much. The air compressor hose is probably the main thing you see hanging off trailers nowadays. But yeah, it's just the electrical leads, and oh my gosh, that was such a shit thing to have to roll up for Dad. I used to hate that job.
You should see a lead I roll up. They're terrible. The builder doesn't even ask anymore. It's just like, no, you can leave that. I'll do that.
Well, when I met Wifey, she had an extension lead, and it looked like most domestic extension leads.
Better snakes.
Yeah, it was like a big thing of spaghetti.
Yep.
And I'm like, do you mind if I run the lead out and get all of the twists out of the fibers, out of the wires in it? She's like, just looked at me. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, okay, there's kind of a way to roll up an electrical lead so you don't wreck it.
My dad inspects the leads when he comes to visit. I mean, he doesn't go around and look for all of them, but if they're close by, he's looking at, Nicole, you haven't done that right. Yeah, I know. That's because I had to do that one. I'm
leads,
terrible at it.
Hoses and ropes.
Mm-hmm. I cannot, for the life of me, make the garden hose go in a circle on the ground, whereas the builder comes out and he just goes whip, 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 and it's there and it's perfect. I cannot for the life of me make it happen. In fact, it's often sport for the children to come out and watch me try. That's how bad I am at it.
And you're wrestling with the big spitting cobra. It's
yes, and swearing
down,
and
you
stomping on
thing.
it. I even stand on the damn thing and it's still, I don't know, I don't understand the coil of said cords and hoses. I just don't get it. I really, really shit at it.
It's all about the lay of the fibers, Nicole.
Yes, I don't get it, Warwick. It's not my thing.
It's one of those mythical things that means a hell of a lot to blokes and non sort of, I don't know, not so much non-trade blokes, but, there's guys that this stuff isn't their jam, and that's cool. I get it. They're interested in other things, but for a lot of us guys, particularly tradies, it's one of these things that it's like a rite of passage, learning how to coil the hose,
yes,
and make it look like magic.
Well, there's some stupid thing in my brain that says I'm not allowed to learn that because I have tried and tried and tried, and I simply cannot. So now we have a hose reel, and you just go zhik, and it goes fling. It goes back into so I don't have to worry about it. But
I refuse to get one of those because that's like getting an automatic car in my mind. Yeah,
it's cheating. Look, I pride myself on being able to learn most things. Particularly, I like to learn things that boys traditionally do, but I suck at the whole hose and lead thing.
Well, I was a sailor as a young bloke as well, not in the Navy, but I used to do a bit of sailing on the water, and ropes. Ropes are another thing that have that. I think ropes are like next level garden hose stuff because they are. It's pretty hard to put a knot in a garden hose, but you can get a knot in a rope.
Oh, I can put a knot in a garden hose. Don't you worry.
That's awesome.
Totally can. But I can't do the knots with the ropes. Like it just tie down the load. I don't. I haven't been taught. I haven't looked into being taught. But there's a particular one that the builder does he just makes it look so easy, and I just end up with the rope wrapped around my arm and my legs tied together, and I can't figure them out. This is just I'm shit at this.
Well, when you come to visit down here in Tassie, because it's cold all the time, garden hoses go to level 1,000 challenge to get them to coil on the ground because they set like concrete in the cold.
Did they freeze?
Yes, our hose froze the other morning, which was fairly inconvenient because we forgot to put the cars under cover, and the frost was so heavy that you have to hose it off the car before you can see out any of the windows. But I couldn't get the water out of the hose because the damn hose had frozen up, so I had to take the hose fitting off to let the ice come out. I was like, okay. I'll only make that mistake once this winter.
Yeah.
Which is tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Yes. First day of winter tomorrow.
Wow. I think
that
you're
was
wrong.
A big sigh, Coxie.
Well, I'm just hang on. Is today not the 1st of May? June.
I was going to say, I hope it's not the 1st of May because I missed a whole month if that's the case.
No, hang on. Move up. I've got to reach my phone.
No, it's the 31st today.
Oh.
Sunday, the 31st of May, Coxie.
I've had my dates completely wrong in my head. I'm
Have
pretty
you gained
sure.
a day or lost today? Did I just ruin your Sunday or
I
what?
lost a day. But that's
Oh,
I've gained a
no.
day. No, I gained a day. No,
Oh, you're
that's-
excited.
Yep, tomorrow's the first. It's okay. I'm back on
Well,
it.
do you know what you could do with that day you've just gained?
Relax.
You go figure out how to roll a hose.
No, not today. That is not
No.
relaxing.
Winter
I'm
is
about
not
to
the time
go
practice that shit.
for a walk on the beach. Excuse me, sorry.
After you cough up a lung.
I'm about to go for a walk on the beach. And then I'm going to put my feet into the sand, have a cup of coffee, and go back home over the bridge.
Sounds wonderful.
I have not
I'm
done
gonna
that
go
since February.
Play in the shed with my girls, wifey and daughter, and we're going to build a mineral feeding station for our little cattle so that they can lick their dolomite and kelp meal and all the good stuff.
Lick blocks.
Yeah, lick blocks have a fair bit of molasses or salt in them, so I'm doing a free choice feeding station. Of course, I'm doing it Waz style. You know, it's got to be done right.
What's a
Not
free
just
choice?
done.
What do you mean by free choice? Like there's 3 sections and they choose which one they want?
There's a few more than 3, but yes, they choose the minerals that they want to take themselves. Actually, let the animal decide. Fancy that.
So in theory, they're like when we crave salt, often it's because our electrolytes are low.
Correct. Or,
So-
magnesium's out of balance or whatever it is. But yeah, so the same thing with animals. Who would have thunk that animals actually have the same sort of instinct and intuition? So they'll take salt if they're lacking salts. They'll go lick up some sulfur if the soils are deficient in sulfur and that their body's lacking sulfur. So, yeah, you just serve it up to them in separate trays or tubs, which are going into a little house thingamajig that we can move around the paddock as we move the cattle around. So I'm going to go play Farmer Waz.
Can you take
That's
a photo
mine.
of that and upload it for everyone to see when you've finished?
Yeah, I will.
That would be cool. Well, there you are. I'm going to go and take a photo of the beach.
First. Yeah, your photo will be a lot easier to get.
Yes. It won't take any effort whatsoever.
So, listeners, what are you doing on a Sunday? If you're listening to this, jump on Facey and share a photo. Just
That would be great.
click a pic of hashtag podcast Sunday or something. I don't know. Coxie, you can come up with a better hashtag than that.
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. This is too hard.
Just post a pic of what you're doing on Sunday, listeners. Just quickly go over to Facebook, find the Tradies in Business page, and share a photo of what you're doing on a Sunday.
That's very exciting. I love
And
it when
we
people share their
will-
stuff with us.
Yeah, it is cool to see what our listeners get up to.
Mm.
And we'll be back tomorrow morning on the first day of winter with our toolbox talk for our trade desk and drawing board members. Mustn't forget the drawing board members in there.
They don't get a lot of mention, do they? The poor buggers.
So for our subscribers and our drawing board mastermind members, we have a toolbox meeting every Monday morning where Coxie and I give everyone a rev up and keep them accountable to their goals, get them set up for the week. So if you'd like to be part of that, probably just go to the website, check all that out, and you can find out how to work with us at a higher level. But otherwise, enjoy your Sunday.
Enjoy.
Have a good one. Hey,
You've been listening to the Tradies in Business podcast with Warwick Bidwell and Nicole Cox. Find out more about today's guest, tools for your trade business, and other cool stuff at tradiesinbusiness.com.au.